Hey guys, welcome to Lesson 8 on the negative form, and today we're changing up the format a little bit, and this gorgeous little bowl is going to be taking over. So, in today's lesson, we're going to learn how to create the negative form in Japanese. So, instead of saying to eat, you would say to not eat, to go, to not go, etc., that kind of thing. So, we're going to be splitting up today's lesson into 4 different parts like we always do. We're going to start with the vocab, then the grammar, then move on to the sentences, and then finally do a little summary of today's lesson. So super excited to get into this, guys. Let's first jump ahead into the vocabulary for today. So, first off, we have the word secret in Japanese, which is himitsu. Himitsu. So secret is himitsu. A good one that you guys can use if you're a very secretive person. This will be coming up in some of the example sentences later today. Next, we have party, which is party. I'm sure you guessed that. The next one is suizokukan, aquarium, the aquarium. Next, we have a verb which is tetsudau, which is to help, Next, we have a holiday or day off, which is yasumi no hi. Then we have hataraku, which is a verb which means to work. Next we have jimusho, which means office. Then we have another verb here which is kau, which means to have a pet. Next we have saru, which means monkey, the animal, the monkey. And then finally, my personal favourite, uchujin, which means alien. So, some pretty out there words today. Some funny ones, some useful ones, and some not so potentially useful ones. But great, for examples, and great for having a good time as well. So, yeah, those are the ones that we're going to be using today. So make sure to note them down, put them into some kind of flashcard system, and make sure you remember the ones that you potentially haven't come across before. So, great job on that one, guys. We're going to move over to the grammar now. So, the vocab's done. Let's look at how we actually form this thing. So first, let's start with des. So we all remember sentences like watashi wa ben desu, I am Ben. Well, in this scenario with des, we can turn this into watashi wa ben de wa nai, which means I am not Ben. Ben de wa nai. Or more politely, we can say ben de wa arimasen. It's that simple. Great. So how about a more informal version for conversation? So in that case, you can say janai. So not watashi wa ben desu or watashi wa ben da. You would say watashi wa ben janai. And that's the one that you probably use the most. So janai is the good one to remember there, guys. So desu becomes de wa arimasen, de wa nai, or janai. Okay, and you can use any depending on the politeness level. So that was kind of how we do it in those basic sentences. Now we're going to take a look at the verb form conjugation. So this is where we're going to be taking all the different verb groups which you already know well, the iru and eru, which is group 1. We have the group 2, which is all the different endings, and then we have group 3, which is suru and kuru. So we'll start off with verb group 1, iru and eru. So for this, we simply take off the ru and add nai. So taberu, to eat, becomes tabenai, to not eat. Kiru, to wear, becomes kinai, to not wear. So great job, guys. It's that simple. Now, let's get this unfortunate headache out of the way. The group 2 verbs. So if you remember, we have endings like u, bu, mu, ku, nu, su, ru, tsu, and gu. Okay, so it's everything that isn't the iru and eru or suru and kuru. So, with the u verbs first, let's take a look at that. So, once you get the pattern, it should be quite easy. So, u verbs, what we do is we take off the u and add wanai. So, if we have you, which means to say you, all we do is take off the u, and that becomes iwanai. Okay, so you take off the u, add wanai, so iwanai, to not say. Bu verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make banai. So, yobu, to call, becomes yobanai, to not call. With mu verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make manai. So nomu, to drink, becomes nomanai, to not drink. Now, new verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make nanai. So, for example, shinu, to die, becomes shinanai, to not die. So, ku verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make kanai. So, kiku, to listen, becomes kikanai, to not listen. Su verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make sanai. So, tamesu, to try, becomes tamesanai, to not try. Ru verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make ranai. Hashiru, to run, becomes hashiranai, to not run. Tsu verbs, we take off the su and add anai to become tanai. So matsu, to wait, becomes matanai, to not wait. And then finally, gu verbs, we take off the u and add anai to make ganai. So oyogu, to swim, becomes oyoganai, to not swim. Whew! Now that was a lot, guys, so make sure to really focus on this for an hour or so at least to get it right. Keep coming back and practicing it. And once you do memorize the pattern, it will honestly become really natural to you, so don't worry about that. Now, the last group is group 3 verbs. So now there's only 2, so you only have to remember them, basically simple as that. So kuru, to come, becomes konai, to not come. Suru, to do, becomes shinai, to not do. So what about the mass form verbs though, like tabemasu, yomimasu, etc.? How do you change those polite verbs? Well, that's super simple. All we have to do is change the mas to masen. Yomimasu, to read, becomes yomimasen, to not read. So there we have it, Team Udon. You've done a great job. Now we're going to put it all together and look at some sentence patterns. So, well done guys, here we go. Sentences. Uchujin janai. Uchujin janai. I'm not an alien. So the des or the da becomes janai. I'm not an alien. Next we have これは僕の水ではない. これは僕の水ではない. This is not my water. This is not my water. So if we had des, which is a polite version, becomes ではない. So this is my water becomes this is not my water with ではない instead of des. Okay? 今夜のパーティーに行かない。今夜のパーティーに行かない。I'm not going to the party tonight. I'm not going to the party tonight. 今夜のパーティーに行かない。今夜のパーティーに行かない。I'm not going to the party tonight. So 行く becomes 行かない from the group 2 verbs. Next we have ミキさんはお肉を食べないよね。ミキさんはお肉を食べないよね。Mickey, you don't eat meat, right? So 食べる group 1 verb いる and 得る becomes 食べない to not eat. 秘密を言わない。秘密を言わない So I will not tell you the secret. 秘密 being secret, you being to say, and then you in the negative form becomes 言わない because we take off the u and add わない So 秘密を言わない Next we have 明日水族館に来ない。明日水族館に来ない I will not come to the aquarium tomorrow. I will not come to the aquarium tomorrow. Group 3 verb 来る becomes 来ない Okay, next we have お前を手伝わない。お前を手伝わない I will not help you. 手伝う Take off the u and add わない。手伝わない Next we have 休みの日に事務所で働かない。休みの日に事務所で働かない I will not work at the office on my day off. So 働く to work becomes 働かない to not work. Take off the u, add あない And then lastly, we have 猿を飼わない。猿を飼わない which means I do not have a pet monkey. 飼う to look after a pet becomes わない、飼わない to not look after a pet. So great bloody work, guys. You've done really well to get through this. So we'll now just take a look at a quick summary, basically. So these are the vocabulary words that we learned today. Make sure to note them all down and use our mnemonic techniques to remember them in your own way. And try to make some example sentences of your own as well. Here is a list of the conjugations that you can now screenshot and take a look at for your studies later on. Got that? Awesome. Well, great job today, guys. You've done absolutely great. You need a well-deserved rest. In the next and final full lesson, we'll be learning all about the command form and adding in adjectives to mix which is super exciting too. Now, we can't wait to see you there. Bye for now, guys.
日本語を勉強しましょう。うどん教室へようこそ。始めるぞ。